So, I, being a student of political science, could not resist but notice the recent turmoil that had been witnessed in two big states of India, namely Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka, and then followed by the resignations being tendered by the Rajya Sabha members of Indian National Congress. This led me to think about the constitutional provisions provided regarding anti-defection law under the 10th schedule of the Constitution, elaborating Articles 102 2 and 192 2. To dig further deep, the Speaker's powers or Speaker's decision about deciding defection and disqualification of the members of legislative assemblies and as well as parliament. I further dwelled upon recent judgment of our Honorable Supreme Court of India and how it interprets the constitutional provisions in the recent development which took place in Madhya Pradesh and in Karnataka. So my topic, which gives food for the thought to everyone, which gives food for the thought to everyone, is that provisions of anti-defection law in Indian Constitution, vis-à-vis power of Speaker to decide defection and disqualification, and the recent judgment of our Honorable Supreme Court. So now I would like to tell you the background of anti-defection law. So by the Constitution Act 1985, which was the 52nd Amendment Act, the 10th schedule was brought in to cure the evil of defection, recognizing the significant impact it has on the health of our democracy. The 91st Constitutional Amendment also strengthens the aforesaid view that the law needed further strengthening in order to curb the evil of defection. The aforesaid amendment introduced Articles 75 1b, 164 1b and 361b in the Constitution. The constitutional amendment sought to create additional consequences resultant from the determination that a person was disqualified under the 10th schedule. If it is held that the disqualification proceedings would become infructuous upon tendering resignations, any member who is on the verge of being disqualified would immediately resign and would easily escape from the sanctions provided under the following articles: 75 1b, 164 1b and 361b. Such an interpretation would therefore not only be against the intent behind the introduction of 10th schedule but also defeat the spirit of 91st Constitutional Amendment Act. An inhibition under the Constitution must be interpreted so as to give wider interpretation to cure the existing evils. The term disqualification under the 10th schedule occupies a specific meaning wherein a member is stopped from continuing to be a member of a legislative body if his actions fall in one of the conditions provided under para 2 of the 10th schedule. From the usage of language under Article 1911, it can be inferred that for disqualifications such as holding an office of profit, unsoundness of mind, and insolvency and etc. bars a person from continuing a member as well as from contesting elections. contrast of Article 191(2), on the other hand, bars person only for being a member of the Legislative Assembly or the Legislative Council. Further, in contrast to Article 192, the decision as to disqualification on the ground as contained in Article 191(2) of the Constitution vests exclusively in the Speaker in terms of the para 6 of the 10th schedule. Provisions under 10th schedule are relatable to disqualification as provided under Article 102(2) and 191(2) of the Constitution. The disqualification of a member apart from the political taint results in two further restrictions, as under Article 164(1)(b), 361(b) as means of punitive actions against the members disqualified under the 10th schedule. The Supreme Court judgment of Srimanath Balasaheb Patil versus Karnataka states, the Speaker, being a neutral person, is expected to act independently while conducting the proceedings of House or adjudication of any petitions. The constitutional responsibility endowed upon him as to scrupulously followed. His political affiliations cannot come in the way of adjudication. If Speaker is not able to dissociate from his political party and behaves contrary to the spirit of the neutrality and independence, such person does not deserve to be reposed with the public trust and confidence. There is growing trend of the Speaker acting against the constitutional duty of being neutral. Further, horse trading, corrupt practices associated with the defection and change of loyalty for lure of office or wrong reasons have not abated. Thereby, the citizens are denied stable governments. In these circumstances, there is need to consider strengthening certain aspects so as that such undemocratic practices are discouraged and checked. The Speaker, in exercise of his power under the 10th schedule, does not have the power to either indicate the period for which a person is disqualified nor to bar someone from contesting elections. However, a member is disqualified and shall be subjected to sanctions provided under Article 75(1)(b), 164(1)(b) and 361(b) of the Constitution. Therefore, part of the impugned orders passed by the Speaker which specifies that the disqualification will last from the date of the order to the expiry of the term of the 15th Legislative Assembly of Karnataka is ultra vires the constitutional mandate, and this portion of the disqualification orders is struck down. However, this does not go to the root of the order, and as such does not affect the aspect of legality of the disqualification orders. The objective of anti-defection law was to bring down the political defections, but due to ever-increasing political dishonesty and corruption, this law never evolved properly. And now the question is that whether achieving the goals of this law is a reality or a myth. Politicians found loopholes in this law and used it for their own benefit. Anti-defection law, when it was passed, it aimed at bringing down the political defection, but due to ever-increasing political dishonesty and corruption, this law really never evolved. It is high time that a watchdog should be provided to our parliament, and there is a need for our constitutional pundits to revisit the issue to combat the menace of corruption and defection which has eroded the values of democracy. The anti-defection law needs to be looked into again by the lawmakers and reformed in the light of experience of its implementation since 1985. Yeah, there is an anti-defection law in place aimed at improving and providing a stable government, but lawmakers and kingmakers often manage to exploit its loopholes by floating outfits or merging parties overnight. According to the 10th schedule of the Constitution, a legislature is deemed to have defected if he either voluntarily gives up the membership of his party or disobeys the directives of the party leadership on a vote. There have been a large number of cases of defection, and how awkwardly they have been handled is in the essence the executive and the legislature seem to have emerged in purpose. We have chosen the parliamentary system, but the anti-defection law has hollowed the deliberative aspect of representative democracy. The lawmakers' switchover is not only a betrayal with the party that considered them worthy of the candidature, but also with the electorate that voted for them. One way, to strengthen the anti-defection law can be to debar the defectors from contesting by-elections for the remaining term of the House, as suggested by the certain legislatures. This safeguard can help us curb horse trading and make elected representatives respect the people's mandate. Unscrupulous elements cannot be allowed to hold democracy to ransom. So at the end, I would really like to thank all of you to being a patient listener. And I, Tanya Chopra of Political Science Department of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, would like to thank Dr. Chandrakanta C.K. Mathur ma'am for giving me this opportunity and to present my views about this recent scenario and the recent political crisis that our country has been facing. So thank you all and take care.